Hi, everybody. This is take 133. The other 132 we don't talk about. This is the one that matters. So hello, and welcome to Dirty Martini. Just a heads up before I begin. I would like to say that I reserve my right to change my opinion about everything that I say on this podcast ever. I think I need alcohol in my system because an anxiety is an anxietying. So see you in a bit. Okay, cheers, guys. Also, let me tell you that I actually hate drinking. I don't like the way alcohol makes me feel. Like, yes, there is a fun aspect to being dizzy and drunk, but also I hate the way I physically feel after drinking alcohol. So here's what I've decided to do. Every single time I drink alcohol, I need to wake up the next morning and go for a run. I'm not doing this because I am striving to be in a healthy era, in a fitness era, or to be a marathon girly. No, I'm doing this because I hate running. I hate running with my entire existence. I hate running with my entire being. I don't like running for the sake of running. Like, if someone was chasing me down the street, yes, I will run. But I will not purposefully and willingly go out and run because it doesn't bring me joy. It doesn't bring me dopamine. I've never felt a runner's high. It's just, I love sports. I love being physically active, but I'm not cut out for running. So how do these two make sense together? Well, because I hate running, I have the incentive to stop drinking. And if I don't stop drinking, I need to go running. And who knows, maybe I do end up running marathons and I do end up loving running, and I just also simultaneously develop a higher alcohol tolerance. Who knows? But my idea is to quote unquote punish myself with running every time I drink. So we'll see how that goes. Okay, I would like to start off by saying that I'm recording this on my bedroom floor with no equipment whatsoever. So if you hear any background noise or I'm breathing too loud, I'm sorry. I literally have no means to finance this podcast, but I've decided to not let this stop me from producing it. So here we are. Hello. Now, I feel like it's only fitting for the first episode to be around the topic of why did I want to create a podcast or any media presence whatsoever? What do I have to bring to the table? And the answer is nothing. I am not here to reinvent the wheel. I'm not here to revolutionize the field. I am here because honestly, I physically, emotionally, and mentally feel the need to have a podcast. Now, why is that? Creating a podcast is something which I've been thinking about for well over 1 year now. It hasn't been a spontaneous decision, and it is something which I've worked towards a lot. I've created so many podcast episodes, and I've disposed of every single one of them because I never felt like they were up to standard with what I want this thing to be. And yes, sometimes I can be a bit too hard on myself, but in my head, I'm like, if I'm going to create something, then I need to create something that I'm proud of. And the previous attempts I was not proud of because I actually was not ready to press record. I was very ambitious. I was extremely motivated, but I was not in the right mental state. And now it feels different. Now I feel ready. Now, why is that? I am in my third year of university. And in the Netherlands, research universities, like the one I attend, only offer 3-year bachelor programs, which means that in 3 months, I'm about to graduate. And that is terrifying. My bachelor degree is going to be in media studies. Now, I will be the first to say it. That is basically a useless degree. The things we've done so far have been so general and so broad, and the idea of you can go in any direction left me directionless. And I just felt lost. I felt like I had no purpose. I felt like I had no path. And that was really, really hard on me. And that was really exhausting. The first semester of my third year, I spent in the UK, where I went on exchange from university. And then because my lectures in the UK ended in December, and my lectures in the Netherlands didn't start up until February, I had a month and a half of living back home in Bulgaria. And that month and a half was a very interesting period of my life because it was a transitionary period. Not only between countries again, but it felt like it was between lives. While I was in the UK, I had promised myself that by the time I leave for the Netherlands, I will have decided what I want to do after my bachelor. And that is a pretty big ask. But I was fortunate enough to have enough time to be able to make decisions. And how did I approach the decision-making process? So the first thing I did when I landed back home was to delete my social media. Now, I am someone who deletes their Instagram in particular every 2 weeks. And annually I go on a long, well, by long I mean 1 month social media detox, which I usually do during the summer. But now I thought it would be a great idea for me to do one in winter as well. Not spending time scrolling, I had enough time to actually think. And it worked out perfectly because I was home, which meant that I'm in a comfortable environment and I had to make uncomfortable decisions. And it would have really sucked if I had to make those decisions in a place where I feel like I didn't belong. So the stars aligned perfectly, and I replaced Instagram with, to be honest, delusion. But that delusion really helped me figure out what I want to do in the upcoming year or two. I created a few scenarios in my head and I outlined specific steps which I will need to take in each scenario. The question was, which scenario do I actually want to do? All of them were quite different and not all of them really spoke to me, but I felt like those that didn't speak to me were ways for me to find myself. That being said, I chose to do a master's degree after I graduated. And this decision honestly was not as easy as I thought it was going to be because I didn't know what I want to study. I didn't know what job, and I still honestly don't necessarily know what job I want to do in the future. And I didn't know what I'm good at. But my time in the UK allowed me to explore different parts of academia which I hadn't dealt with before. So I was lucky enough to actually find something that really interests me and which I'm currently, at least, really passionate about. So I came back to the Netherlands with a, if not clear, at least clearer path. in front of me. Making that decision was honestly really hard. Not only because of this, but also because I was wondering, am I rushing into it? Do I actually enjoy the topic that I'm going to pursue? Do I actually enjoy the field that I'm going to enter? And also, is this my way of postponing life more? Because as much as you learn and grow in university, you're still not technically in the quote-unquote real world. Because you have structure, you have an outline of what at least a semester is going to look like. And yes, there are like unexpected things that happen, but generally you know what to expect from life. And I feel like in life, like life, you don't necessarily have the privilege to know what's to be expected from you and what you can expect from others. So it was a very difficult decision to make. And I spent a lot of time researching universities, researching programs, reading literature, going and borrowing textbooks from my local library. And I really feel like for the time being, I have made the right decision. I don't think I would have been able to make that decision had I not done the social media detox. Because social media, as much as it's entertaining, as much as it's a way for me to connect with people in a country that I'm currently not in, it is so emotionally draining and it is exhausting and time-consuming and just overall it consumes your life. As much as I am ashamed to admit it, I am addicted to social media, Instagram in particular, and this is something which I'm really working on, and it is a goal I've set to spend less time on social media because it's really detrimental to my mental health. Because social media, like, of course it has its advantages. Of course it can bring us together, but the disadvantages sometimes outweigh the advantages because it promotes an extremely unhealthy body image, and at least personally it urges me to compare myself to others, and comparing myself to others isn't necessarily motivating. On the contrary, it always leads to me being hard on myself for not doing enough, not being good enough, not looking good enough, not being smart enough. And yes, I know that on Instagram, we always show only our highlights, which is amazing. Like, of course, go and share your great moments. And it is my own problem that I interpret them that way. So, yeah. Social media, what can I say? It's like, I can talk about it for hours. After all, we already know that I'm studying media. So, I should supposedly be well versed in the topic. A really interesting thing happened when I came back to social media. And that is that my algorithm on Instagram had quite significantly changed. Instead of showing me the usual cooking videos and stupid dad jokes, it was now showing me content from the infamous hustle culture. And I don't know about you, but hustle culture has never motivated me. It has always made me feel like I'm not doing enough. Like, how are you 21 and not investing in stock and like not owning Bitcoin and like, bro, I can barely cook eggs. Chill. And as much as hustle culture can be quite toxic, there was this sound which was circulating my feed quite a lot. And it was something along the lines of, you don't want to be that person who talked all the time how they want to create something but never actually created it. And this really struck me because I've been talking about creating a podcast for forever now, and I've been promising to myself that I will create one, and I've been visualizing myself doing it, and I never actually did. Like, yes, of course, I recorded those previous attempts that I fully deleted, but I never actually made the decision to create something and post it online. Maybe it was stress, maybe it was anxiousness, maybe it was something that I cannot even pinpoint, but I never actually did it. And now I just want to prove to myself that I am not just empty talk. I want to prove to myself that I can also do it. And if I don't enjoy it and end up ditching this, then that's totally fine. I just want to be able to say to myself that I tried it out, that I created something and it was meaningful, at least to me. I really don't know what's going to come out of this. I really don't know if I will end up uploading it, if I'm being honest. For the time being, it feels right. And for as long as it feels right, I'm going to keep on going on. So then I came back to the Netherlands and I was extremely excited. I was finally about to see all of my friends who I hadn't seen since last June. And there was so much catching up to do. And there was just so much to look forward to. But then it didn't necessarily go the way I expected it. Because I'm hanging out with those people, I'm spending quality time with them, and I'm loving every second of it. And then I go back home and I realize how my time in the UK, as much as I enjoyed it, really cut down on my time that I have left with those people. Because, as I already mentioned, we're about to graduate soon, and most of my friends are not from the Netherlands. And most of them don't want to stay in the Netherlands. And I'm super happy for them that they figured out what they want to do. But I will also really miss them. And I don't want this feeling of impending doom to consume me. But it does sometimes. I'm honestly having a meant to be after meant to be after meant to be. So it's not been necessarily fun. My mom called me and I fully forgot what I was talking about. Oh yeah, being depressed. Yeah, so those things were happening and it felt really, really overwhelming. And I just needed an outlet. And in my head, a podcast is an audio version of keeping a diary. It is a great way for me to verbalize my thoughts, and by doing so, to hopefully be able to navigate them easily or easier. I feel like it's also a way for me to share with myself, and I don't mean to sound cocky or anything, but I'm usually pretty good at giving advice, so maybe by listening to myself talk about what I think is currently important and what currently interests me, I will be able to help myself go through stuff. We will see. That's really ideal. Now, apart from these existential needs, I feel like podcasting can actually be quite fun. And I just love yapping. I love talking. If it were up to me, I would never shut up. And it is a bit narcissistic, but I love listening to myself talk. I'm one of those people who really listens to their voice memos they send to their friends just because it's fun. Like, I love my stories, even though I really hate the way my voice sounds on tape. So editing this will be a true nightmare, and I know I will be cringing the entire time, but that's a small price to pay for being able to listen to myself talk for 20 to 30 minutes. Like, I will probably be my top listener, and that is honestly a slay. On a more practical level, the reason I've decided to create a podcast now is because I am unemployed. which means that I have quite a lot of time on my hands right now, and I'm trying not to spend it by scrolling. So I thought that's the next best thing. I am really having a difficult time finding a job right now. I've applied to over 100 places and I've been rejected by every single one of them. So that's fun. And no, it's not hurting my ego whatsoever. I don't know, man. It's just really difficult. Like, before anyone says anything, I'm not applying to be a rocket scientist at NASA, and I'm not applying to be the CEO of a tech company. I am applying to be a cleaner and a pizza baker. And those are things I'm quite qualified for because I already have experience in this. Last year, I was spoiled while also waiting tables. Well, not simultaneously, but you know what I mean. Like, imagine your waiter having just cleaned the toilet and then coming and serving your food. That's nasty. But you never know. So always be kind to your waiters because those are the people who handle your food and drinks. And you don't want anything bad to happen to them, do you? So be kind and always tip. Please tip your waiters. And what I mean by this is that I am not above any job title. I am willing to do anything. So please, someone hire me. I don't even need a livable wage. I just need a wage because I don't know about you, but I really have a passion about being able to afford rent and being able to afford to eat. But yeah, I guess that could be too pretentious. I don't know. I really don't know. So if you're someone in the Netherlands and you're listening to this and you have a job for me, please hire me. I will do your groceries. I will be your personal assistant. I will sweep your floor. I will scrub your sink. I will wash your dishes. Just please hire me. On that note, can we please change something in society? Because there is no reason for you to ask me, why do you want to work here? Money. What brings you to this company specifically? Is because you're looking for people. I am people. So I think that's a match. And now on a really, really basic level, why today? What made today different than all the other hundreds of attempts that I've done before? Well, this week in particular, I've cried so much. Like, I've only had to keep myself hydrated to have enough water in my body to be able to cry. I didn't know I was able physically to cry this much. I already mentioned some of the reasons why I'm having menty bees, but today in particular has been quite an amazing day. Well, the last 48 hours, let's say. Of course I cried. Of course I had mental breakdowns. But then I hung out with people who I really, really love. And my friends came over to my place and one of them had to leave early and the other one lives a 15-minute walk away from my place. So I walked her home, and we always do this thing of when we reach the point in which we're supposed to split ways, we stay there for 30 minutes and just talk. We yap about everything and anything. And yesterday I walked her home, we went to her place, and we stood in her backyard for 30 minutes and talked until she was like, hey, do you want to take a walk around the block? That walk around the block turned into a 3-hour directionless walk. Our feet were basically giving up on us by the end of the night. And then I came back home, had some floor time, and floor time is crucial. I love sitting or lying on the floor because it's so recharging, especially after you've had an emotional day, be it emotionally exhausting or emotionally recharging. Sitting on the floor, being on the floor keeps me grounded, keeps me grateful. I love my floor time. So after my floor time, I went to bed and then I wake up only 4 hours later because I'm in my grandma era and my body got accustomed to going to bed at midnight and waking up at 8. So that meant that night I only got 4 hours of sleep. So I was already a bit grumpy, and then I had to work on an assignment which I have to submit in 1 hour. So the day wasn't going great. And then I went to the mirror and I saw that my hair, even though I washed it yesterday, looked like it's been licked by a cow. So a bad start to the day only means that things can go up from there. And they really did. A friend of mine texted me and he came over to mine, and then we went on a walk drinking chai latte. My first time drinking chai latte. It was so good. Like, am I about to get addicted to this? Because it was hitting such a good spot. It was sweet, but honey type of sweetness. It was just perfect. It was amazing. And the weather was amazing. And I swear, I didn't realize how much the weather affects me up until last year. I always thought that people who are talking about seasonal depression are making it up. I always thought that they're just like blowing things out of proportion, because how could a little bit of rain and a little bit of mist and darkness affect you that much? And then came my second year of studying in the Netherlands, and that thing was real. Maybe I didn't notice it in my first year because I couldn't separate seasonal depression from regular depression. But in my second year, when I was on a high and the sun was low, I was like, oh my God, what the hell is going on? And then I swear, when the birds start chirping and the days get longer, the first rays of sunshine hit my face, I get reborn. I'm like, oh my God, I don't want to kill myself anymore. Life is worth living. Who would have thought? Who would have thought that this weather can significantly affect us? Like, we're such fragile beings. Anyways, so the weather was amazing, which meant that we went for a long walk with our chai tea, with our chai latte, and we just kept on going and going, and we reached the other end of the city. And we were at this point exhausted, so we rented a scooter, and it was my first time on a scooter in my life, and I was terrified. Thank God he was the one driving, because I would have honestly freaked out. But it was so much fun, and I really enjoyed it, and it was just like perfect. And it's making me feel like maybe in my core I'm a Vespa girly. Not that I can afford to get a Vespa, but maybe one day. So then we went to the city center and bought some subs, and they were hitting the right spot. Like, they were not the best sandwiches I've ever had, because there is this place in my hometown, Maggio, and they have the best sandwiches that humanity has ever known. So Mario, if you're listening to this, and I know you're not, I'm sending so much love to you, and you got me all through high school, and I really miss you guys. And every time I go back home, the first thing I do is get a kebab, and the second thing I do is get a Mario sandwich. But those were really hitting the spot in the moment, because we were sitting by the canal, and there was this one bird which dove in the water for, I swear, what felt like years. I don't know how this thing didn't die. Maybe it was suicidal. Maybe it was trying to drown. But Anyways, and it was just such a cute day, and I felt so energized. And then I went to a cafe with my housemate, and then I came back home, cooked a little bit, cleaned, and felt like I had my life together. And I'm trying to ride that wave while it lasts, because those moments come rarely and they don't last that long. So I'm trying to record this now while I'm optimistic, so that I don't make this thing extremely pessimistic and depressed. Okay, maybe the first part of this has been really, really depressed, but I promise you, I am actually really energized and really refreshed and happy. And that being said, I need to call my mom, because I told her that I'm recording this. And then I also need to finish my assignment and submit it. And then I need to go to bed because I'm exhausted. And I already told you I'm in my grandma area, so I go to bed by midnight. So thank you for listening. If you would like to join me on this journey of podcasting in the form of navigating life as it comes, then welcome. If not, I totally understand there are so much more meaningful things to spend your time doing. So I will see you guys next time. Bye bye.